boom, boom, boom. Party people in the place to be. As it is plain to see, not just stuff moving tough. And when it comes to straight talk, you got enough. Yes, 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 yes. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yes, yes, this is Sean Bolden, Sean B. However you know me, it is straight talk, leads to straight understanding with Sean Bolden on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And in case you don't know, now you know. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please like, share. Yes, share everybody. Tonight, I asked the question, what do you want to talk about? Do y'all want to talk about relationships? Do y'all want to talk about the music industry? Do y'all want to talk about politics? Do y'all just want to have me freelance and talk? Let me know if in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you got something you want to say. Yes, I see you, Mr. Rika Smith. Thank you for coming. I'm about to put up the post in case anybody wants to join me. I'm about to put up a link so that I can have some guests here. So if you want to be a guest of mine, by all means, just come on in. I'll copy the link right here, and I am going to paste it right here, y'all. Yes, I'm going to paste it. There we go. Click on. Thank you for those who are joining YouTube. I see you, Tarika. Thank you for those who are joining me on Facebook. Let me see if I can see that right now. I wanted to be on my other Facebook page, but it's on this page. I'm getting another camera. Matter of fact, as you can see down there, if in fact you want to donate towards my camera stuff, I would ask you to cash me. You see the Cash App right there? Yeah, Cash App at Sean Bolden, and you too can support, subscribe, and help out getting a new camera for the straight, at least straight understanding. So yes, all help is definitely welcome. So I want to just say I'm over here looking at the ways that I can change my background a little something. There goes my banner. Let me get this banner off right here. And so all we're going to do right here is say straight talk, leads to straight understanding. So as you can see scrolling down the bottom, it says subscribe, like, comment, support with badges or Cash App. Cash App is $ Sean Bolden. $ Sean Bolden or $ Sean Bolden, the number one. Whichever one you want to use is fine with me. I just want to thank you all for being here with me right now. So it's been an interesting week. I've learned a lot. You know, I learn a lot regularly because I look to learn. I just want to say, yo, you got to look to want to learn. Yes, you got to look to want to learn. So if you want to learn something, just be aware. That's what they keep talking about, awareness. Oh, I forgot my hat. Sponsored by my man. Goes with my green shirt, my green H2O, which is our sponsor, by the way, up there in the corner. H2O, CBD infused water. So get it at a store near you. I'm not feeling this lighting. Are you feeling the lighting? Can you see me good enough? Well, I'm going to put a little bit more light on this situation so you can see me a little better. Yes, this is my man E-Core, his brand. So I'm just supporting brands that I know and that support me. So this right here is H2O. I'm going to bend down a little, just a little. Yes, we're going to get down a little so I can be closer to the mic. Yes. All right. So I think I'm going to play some videos today. I have quite a few videos that were interesting this week. So before we get started, I want to talk about it. Kendrick, Drake. All right. So my personal opinion, as far as production-wise, Drake initially had the edge. That last song that Kendrick did with DJ with Mustard gave him a little bit more the edge. But then that part 6, you know, I'm waiting for Kendrick to come back because that part 6, let's just say it was a boxing match, right? It's been where Kendrick winning the rounds. But as my man S.T.S.U pointed out to me, and I agree with him, there wasn't a knockout. Although many people felt there was a knockout because it was the underdog getting the best of the champion. But it wasn't really a knockout. Lyrically, Kendrick was winning. Lyrically, Kendrick is winning. But that one that Drake did, where he did the production, where he changed up the beats, that was pretty interesting. A real good comeback. I think it was called Family Matters, and then we did meet the whatever his last name is. I can't remember right now. Meet the Aubreys or meet the not the Aubreys. Yeah, I know his name, Aubrey, whatever his last name is. Yeah, so Kendrick came back with that. Definitely was ping, 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 knock him down. You know, if it was a boxing match. Again, if it's a boxing match, yeah, Kendrick came in, boop, floored him. Boop, 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 floored him. Floored him. But Drake got back up. He was like, all right, cool, good one. And he did catch him a little. Kendrick got a little, stumbled a little something. But he came back. He was like, all right, cool, we're gonna box it up. And so he bing, 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 bing. And it's been that type of match. So if we're going to go on from that standpoint, Kendrick is winning on points. But Drake, because Drake's last round, he kind of staggered Kendrick a little. He didn't knock him down like Kendrick did him. Bing! But did stagger him a little lyrically. Production-wise, Drake was catching Kendrick a couple of times. Bing, 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 bing. Drake was hitting. Bing, bing, bing. Pop, pop, pop. But lyrically, Drake was just covering up, blocking everything. Boom, 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 boom. So he was blocking everything. So as far as that's concerned, I can't wait to see it. It has been a little bit exciting for the hip hop industry, other than all of those. The song's just been kind of promiscuous. The ladies have been running it, which I enjoy, but all they're doing is showing their asses, being promiscuous, and I don't find too much value in that. It kind of reminds me of the 2 Live Crew. 2 Live Crew had a lot of great songs, but the content wasn't as substantial, didn't have a lot of substance, but their songs were great. Whoop, there it is. That was another song, 69. I know it ain't 2 Live Crew, but it came to my mind because S.T.S.U was talking about it when he said that they was sitting in his crib, they was at a strip club, and that's how that came up. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But 2 Live Crew had, songs that will make you move, make you dance, those bass tracks that Dr. Dre, New York Dr. Dre, created that sound, that bass sound. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, big up to Dr. Dre, East Coast Dr. Dre, Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. That Dr. Dre created bass sound that the Live Crew and a lot of people from Miami used. And it was definitely, and it still thumps to this day. Thumps to this day. Big up to Jazz, who's doing the spin on it from out here in LA, 1-8 girl. Yes, big up to her. But like I was saying, it didn't have the substance. So that's how I felt, this era is going in. And I didn't really like the 2 Live Crew lyrically. Of course, I'm a lyricist, so I didn't like the 2 Live Crew lyrical, but you went to one of their shows. They were doing some things on stage with them women that made you feel like you was in a strip club before strip clubs were hot. So big up Uncle Luke for giving us that entrance into the industry. But now it's kind of being exploited. I don't even know what some of these songs or what they're saying in some of these songs. They do, and I ain't supposed to know. I'm above that generation to be listening to that lyrically. But like I said, I'm a little disappointed. So all that to say, Kendrick and Lamar kind of gave us a little people are talking about it. It gave us a little excitement, gave us a little something to think. Now, I don't like Corrupt said, big up to Corrupt, one of the illest on the mic from the West Coast era and the West Coast side. Big up to him when he said, this is kind of, he bored with it. And I can understand that. That's why I could respect J. Cole kind of graciously bowing out. Because that's kind of, yeah, we beyond that. I don't think he had anything to fear. I think he can, fight and tussle with the best of them, both Kendrick and Drake. I think J. Cole could kind of, bing, bing, could kind of make his way and tussle with the both of them. But he just decided, you know what? That's not what I've been doing for the last few years. I've been getting my maturity on, getting my manhood on, getting my I'm trying to build wealth, not trying to get rich. I was in a conversation yesterday on Grooming's Network, and we were speaking about politics and things of that nature. And what I said is that there are the owners and there are the workers. And it's been that way for some years. That was the political side of it. We've been having owners and workers since slavery, since the inception of this country. And it still goes on to this day. It's the owners versus the workers. So now there's some, different people coming over who own it and all that. But yeah, that's what it's been. So, but that being said, I don't want to get too much into politics, and I don't want to stick too long on Drake and all of them, Drake and Kendrick. But I just want to make mention, seeing that that's a hot topic right now for y'all. So if that's what y'all was interested in, that's my thought on it. Let's move on. All right. What else has been going on? As you know, I've been learning and been speaking about relationships. I've been studying relationships for some time. How we win, how we fail, different things. What's going on? What's going on there, bro? Cole definitely did his thing. I got a big up to my man Bear. Chris Stokes, he definitely did his thing. I agree, and he just backed out. I ain't mad at that. He ain't got nothing to prove, basically, and he's like, that's petty. Let me go make some music to the fans who love me, and he's been doing it independently, on his own. I commend a brother who is a millionaire but still rides his bike around. I commend a brother who's a millionaire that ain't sitting there always flossing. Because I used to say a lyric like this. I said, everybody want to be a killer. See a movie of the mob and you want to be the Don. Joe, you're just a pawn in this industry of madness. Think you're swimming in dough, but only drowning in the sadness. You don't need no apparatus to establish your status. Diamonds with carats as a higher stake to your cabbage. Protect your neck. That theory is sensible. Guarding those material distracts from principle. So that's what I'm talking about. Guarding those materials distracts from the principle of protecting your neck. You actually adding food to your neck. And there's lions out there. And why are you going to add food to your neck? You sitting there because I come from where they feast on food like that. They look at people like food. So when you put that on you, you're just saying, oh yeah, that's right. And you're asking for those who was just looking for that food. Because that's how Pac got shot, y'all. Because he was out there, being Pac. But what he didn't realize is that when he separated from some of the people who he was associated with out there, that just left the whole covering that he had out there. It was like, oh, word, he out here like that. They looked at him as fool. It wasn't about Tupac, Bishop, none of that. They looked at him as fool. This was before Death Row. This was Juice, Bishop. He has Dear Mama, no, not Dear Mama. Brenda had a baby out. He had a lot of that, so he was just getting his chops on. But when they got him, they was looking at him like fool. He finally, and it wasn't Big in them that was looking at him like fool. It was New York cats who that's what they look for. Just like out here in LA, more recently, they have adopted that whole thing, and they looking at all of these folks who be coming out here like fool. They like, oh nah, you ain't coming out here and looking like that, and I can't get none. Nah, that's where that big up to Trick. That's where that no fly zone type mentality came in. You coming in here, you got to kind of break bread with me one way or another. You ain't got to come out your pocket, but you got to make them promoters who bringing you here say, I need my man them to open up. And they come out their pocket because they like, well, if you get on, You got to be able to put my man in them on before me. Smart moves. Big up to the no fly zone trick. Big up to those who stood on that. Because I understand that that's business. But that's why I said people was fools. So when you add in that those things, you know, those chains, to a person who hungry, that look like a steak dinner. To a person who thirsty, that just looks like a big bucket of water. To a person who's in need, that all that bling bling, man. I used to write rhymes about all that, man. So I just stand it differently. But that's why I said, you know, it's good. I understood J. Cole backing out of that. Like my man said, he was right to. It really had nothing to do with him, and I agree. I agree. He was like, yo, what's the point? And then he started, you know, getting on what was his man, and that's the other thing. You got to realize some of these cats, even though Kendrick threw a little, he's like, yo, I was a fan of that cat. I ain't trying to get all it because I'm going to do him dirty. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to do somebody dirty and you know you're going to do somebody dirty and you out of being a dirty ass person, you might have a different frame of mind as well. When you have come from that, you know, that world of, you know, battling and all that, you have done people dirty. You have, you know, Cole has done some folks dirty on that mic. He's done some folks real dirty on that mic. And when you have done that, you know, just religiously, he's like, man, I ain't got nothing. I know I could tussle. That's like, what's the point? So I understand that point of view, and that's why I understood his thing. But yo, it's been good, you know, seeing the little sparring. It's kind of like looking forward to this Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing. It's revving up some interest, you know, because people want to see Mike put it on him. People want to see Jake put it on the old Mike. So it stirs up a lot of emotions. It stirs up a lot of things. So it's good for business. Now, the business of hip hop, this is good for. As you can see, the world is talking about it. It went from Cat Williams. Then we had last week we had Amanda Stills. You know, we had so many different things that have happened that stirred up our interest for whatever reason. And this is one of those things. So that's what I say to that. Okay, so yeah, I want to talk about, man. I said we could talk about politics, we could talk about relationships, we could talk about the music industry. Now, I got to tell you, I can't just sit and blindly talk about any of those things. I got to have some subjects. So if it's the music industry specifically, I need to hear y'all talk about something specific. We just spoke about J. Cole and all that. That doesn't really stimulate me as much. But if you want to know some business thoughts and ideas, you know, because I'm a thought person. I'm strategic. I'm a professional strategist when it comes to the music industry. That's what I did. I have been a professional strategist in a lot of the labels that I worked at, even as an artist, because I was an artist from New York who was a lyricist. I did lyrics strategically. You know what I'm saying? I did lyrics, you know, if I was getting, I did it strategically. You just heard one of the old rhyme that I said, and they were strategic. You know, I could go down a list of things that I could probably remember that was very strategic. And some of it was political, because that's my nature. Some of it was just boisterous, because that's what I grew up in. And some of it was, you know, about the lively lifestyle that I was familiar with, whether I lived or whether I was just around it or whether I just saw it, you know, it's part of that as well. So I have a lot of those elements in me, and that's why I speak about these things. So with that being said, if y'all got any topics, type it into the comments. If not, I'm just gonna play a couple of videos, because this girl, I played her last week, Saralina, but fighting on her, Stephen A set a strong 7. I don't always agree with Stephen A. Even though we go to the same church, I don't always agree with his perspective, because, you know, one time it's his job and the next time He's standing on, I'm just me and I'm gonna do what I need to do. And then the next time he leaning towards his job. Just recently, I was looking at him this morning. Him and Matt Barnes was having a discussion, and they was talking about when he called up the league to find out why Westbrook was not suspended. He called the league to find out. Now they called him a snitch. He said, yo, I was just doing my job, which is rightfully so and understandable. But Stephen A., as Matt pointed out, but he didn't say it directly because y'all cool, but I'm going to say it directly. That's not in your duties, as that's not part of your job. They asked you, what do you think? And if you didn't have the information why he didn't get suspended, you didn't have to go and find out. That's not what you're getting paid for. You did that out of your own will because you wanted to get the kudos, the credit. Well, I spoke to the NBA themselves. So you reached out to them to get an answer that wasn't really your job to get. That wasn't your quest to go get that information. That was your desire to go get that information. Had you not gotten that information and you spoke about it, you said, I would have ejected him. Cool, no problem. But you did not have to go find out. That's why they was calling you a snitch. That's why they was saying that you kind of violated a little, because although you could have said, yo, I would have suspended him. I don't know why he didn't get suspended. Fair. Doing your job, not going above and beyond your job. You calling the NBA because ESPN said they wanted to know is above and beyond your job. That's kind of why they call it kind of like a snitch or shucking and jiving, because there are certain things that you do not have to do, even though it's your desire and your maybe your will to do it. But yo, you don't have to do those things. So that's what they were talking about. And again, despite that, that's one of the things that I can agree with others, and I don't entirely agree with you. I understand. That's my job. This is what I do. I'm an analyst, and that's part of my job. But again, you don't have to say you used you was talking about whatchamacallit is a bus, Kwame Brown. And you say, y'all was talking about the game. Yeah, but you made it a little personal. I didn't want to go there with you. But again, I'm gonna go there. You made it personal when you called him a bus. You didn't say his game is a bus. You said he's a bus. That's insulting. That's when you are directly attacking someone's character, and you don't like when your character is attacked. Like you was mad at Jack for him attacking your character after how long y'all knew each other, and you said it a few times in that interview, Matt Barnes. But you defend and condone when you attack Kwame Brown's character instead of just speaking on his game or analyzing his game. You could have said his game is a buzz. That makes all the difference, brother. That makes all the difference by saying his game is a buzz. But when you sit and say he's a buzz, and you're sitting there, that's like calling them people at ESPN. You're doing a little too much. You could tell him, yo, I think you're a bust, but you don't need to be on these cameras talking about your bust. Now, I've been guilty of it as far as saying some things about some people that I could have said directly instead of saying it, on camera. So I'm learning, I'm maturing. I just ask you to do the same. All right. With that being said, this is Stephen A. Smith to something I do agree that he's saying, bro. I agree with you on this one about a strong 7.
7. Let me tell you why. 10, fine as all get out, tat out, body looking fine, everything like that, got it going on. Too much maintenance. Too much, because she knows she fine. And you're expendable. She could take you or leave you. A 9, that's a problem too, because you got enough people telling her she's a 10, so half of them acting that way. And by the way, the ones that ain't acting that way still require more from you than what others might. And so you got to be up on your game. That's problematic. 8, that's ideal, because that's really, really good looking. She got it going on. But at the same time, there's a level of independence that comes with it, which is never a bad thing until she's so independent that she's making you feel like you need to be more dependent on her than she needs to be on you. So there's too many opportunities and too much time that's wasting away where you're not feeling like that dude. You're feeling like a dude, not that dude. Here's where the strong 7 comes in. Looks wise, she can compete with an 8. But her mentality is not that of an 8. So she's more appreciative of you wanting her. As a result, she shows an elevated appreciation for you.
So with that being said, let's now that I can understand. He's a strong 7. He said a 10, too much maintenance. I agree. Man, those 10s, those 9s, too much maintenance. They got too many people hollering at them. You know, they just, and they often come off as uppity, even though they don't mean to be. They often come up as that because they're sometimes unapproachable. A lot of them are very insecure, which adds another element of what you don't always want. And so, yeah, they're too much maintenance. You got to fix them mentally. You got to be up to the par physically. There's a lot that comes along with a 10. A 9. A 9 is like he said, a 10, but they feel like they're a 10, even though they're slightly under a 10. And once you feel that way, you're feeling yourself like that, yeah, you still could have the same attributes that are problematic with the 10. The 8, I agree with him there too, because that 8 leans more towards that 8, that 9 and 10 get made up, but they're getting a little bit more grounded, and they're really, like, so that strong 7, which probably I might be below. I might be strong 6. Maybe I used to be a strong 7. Maybe, which is that strong 7 he's describing, where people would like me in that upper range. But, so I get what he's saying, but it gives you a sense of humility. It gives you a sense that you ain't no pretty boy, in my case. You ain't the most beautiful in ladies' cases, but you can hold your own. You're confident about yourself. And so you're appreciative of who it is that you embrace. Now, I didn't really agree with, they want you got too much. We're going to finish listening to it, and then I'm going to tell you more about what he's talking about. We're going to talk more about what he's talking about, all right?
You wanting her. Therefore, she treats you like she wants you. Strong 7. That's somebody who is an 8, but don't act like one.
There you go.
That's what makes her special. Those are the ones that are married. The others, long engagements, quick marriages and divorces, or just perpetual singlehood, because they spent so much time showing you that you were expendable that you finally looked at them and said, well, that's why I don't want your ass, because I'm expendable. You gonna dump me anyway when it's time. Why waste my time?
And that right there is what I don't agree. Yeah, it ain't nobody expendable. If I feel you should never feel you're expendable, because if you understand your value, and we all add value to one another. We all add value to one another if we're honest, if we're confident, we add value to another person. No matter who you are. Now with him, he adds value because he got paper, and he's confident. And many will argue he ain't the best looking person in the world. Kind of funny looking if you ask me. But the point is, because he has some riches, and this is why I'm saying to a lot of men, he's kind of like that strong 6, because he got a little something. He feels a little bit more, confident, sometimes a little cocky, maybe. But you ain't expendable, Steve. And it ain't because of how you look, it's because of what you can provide. But when you thinking that and leading with what possibly might thinking you're expendable to whomever they then it loses a sense of value that you should lose, because no matter who you are, you whether you that 10, you're valuable to that 10, because what that 10 doesn't have, all of those attributes that they're concerned with, you will lend balance to that 10 by being humble and being able to show them humility, and vice versa. The things that you might not have as far as looks and extensions, or things that you might not have privilege or access to, that 10 can you, and it brings balance to you. Stephen, before he was a famous, could probably have a 10, and that 10 can get to places that he wasn't invited to, especially in this industry. So, there you have value as a 10, that they can lend balance to you, but you have value as a hard worker to lend value to them. Let's continue.
Did I not break that down? I believe I did.
So yeah, he broke it down. For those who didn't see it, I'll play it again before the show is over. But yeah, I do agree with him there. I do agree with Stephen A there. Thank you, Stephen A, for the clip of a strong 7. And so I do believe that. Now, speaking of which, I don't know which direction I want to go in. All right, I'm gonna go in. A young lady, I was messing up her name last time. It was Sarah Lena. Good evening, Shamik. How are you? Hey, I was speaking about a young lady, Sarah Lena, and I didn't remember her name. Her tag is Sarah Lena 89. Very intelligent girl. I believe she's a doctor, and she has some. I used her clip before and commented on it, and gave some pushback on it. But this is a clip that I'm going to use now that we're talking about a strong 7. She's talking about submission, and she made some valid points on submission. And I want y'all to hear it, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about it. All right. So let's speak with Miss Sarah and see what she has to say about submission, y'all. Right. And then I know which one I'm gonna end with. Let's add it to the stage.
And I think that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to what submission is, because submission is not a series of actions, tasks, duties. It's not so much what you're doing. It's about who and how you are in regards to your man, your husband, right? A lot of times what you all are describing is ways to show appreciation or admiration for your man. Now, being submissive is a way to show that you admire your man, but a lot of you are describing that, or you're describing being a homemaker or a caregiver or a nurturer or a lover. But when it comes to being submissive, it looks more like you just relinquishing the need to be in control. It looks like you trusting your man's guidance and accepting his guidance, trusting his direction, his vision, and getting on board with the mission, cooperating, wanting to be involved with that, as opposed to competing or just going in your own direction, right? It's wanting to be a part of the plan. Submission looks like you not giving a lot of pushback when there is a disagreement. It looks like you being agreeable even when you disagree. That doesn't mean you're just sitting there saying, oh, yes, I agree with you, even when you don't agree. It looks like you just being pleasant and not trying to force your perspective or force your point or feel like you have to have the last word. It looks like you.
Now, I'm going to stop it there, but we're going to continue in a second. She says submissive. One of the key things that she said in submitting, and it goes for both genders, but she was speaking to the ladies. She said trust. In order to submit, you need to be able to trust. And that's where a lot of the disconnect is when it comes to that word submission. For example, I trust in the Lord, so I'm able to submit to him. I'm able to submit to his direction, his guidance, etc. And ladies, if you are going to submit to your husband, now when I say husband, I'm not talking about legally is not the only way to have a husband. If this is who you consider your husband because y'all have that agreement and are following a vow and or to one another, that is your husband and or wife, regardless of the paperwork, in my opinion. So when I speak and say husband, I don't suggest that women submit to man. I suggest that women submit to their husband. And more importantly, you look at to find a man to submit to, you find out who he has submitted to. Who has he submitted to? He should have submitted to something bigger than himself if he's asking you to submit to him. That's just my opinion and what I think is necessary for a lot of folks. So, yes, that is a key quality. I'm going to continue to play her point of view and in reference to the submission. So let's continue to hear what she got to say.
You're just surrendering in that moment, right? Being submissive looks like you not questioning every little thing that he does and being okay with him making the final decision and not questioning it so much because you trust that you are covered with him. You trust that he has good intentions with you, right? You feel safe and secure with that man. You admire him, you value him. All of that plays a role in it, right? Being submissive looks like you making adjustments the first time he tells you that he has a concern with something you're doing, as opposed to him having to say it over and over and over again, right? So there's a lot to it, but these are just a few examples because I want you to understand that being submissive is not so much you just doing a bunch of stuff for him. It has more to do with how and who you are when it comes to expressing and showing your trust and admiration and respect for this man, if that makes sense.
So, yes, it makes sense. And she broke it down very, very clearly. And I commend her. Sarah Lena, I appreciate your comments here. We are going to finish it. My man or Dion just said God first. And I agree, God got to be first. However you recognize him, something has to be above you. Because when it's not above you, what we find is we're trying to control, as she said, trying to control things. And that controlling is a big issue that we often face. And, you know, and one thing, we try to control people. We try to control everything. What we don't control often is our emotions. We don't control our emotions that well. But before we get into controlling emotions and how well we do not do it, let's finish up with Miss Sarah Lena. Sarah Lena 89 is her that's her handle. You can go check her out on Instagram and on Facebook and on YouTube. And she often shares a lot of great information, great insights. So support her efforts as well. And like I said, I'm getting a better camera because y'all see how fuzzy I am. So if you want to support out, share this, like this, you can cash out. All of those things are important. Everybody like if you're on Instagram or if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, like. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Comment if you're here. I appreciate that. And share this. Share so we can get some more people in and we can have some real discussion. Today I'm doing this solo, but usually I do it with guests and we go over this with guests. Anybody want to join me? Again, I will post again the screen right here in the comments. You can click on here and you can join me as well. Here it is again. On up. Just put it in your browser, copy that, and put it in your browser. If you need me directly, text me, and I will text it over to you. But anyway, like I was saying, yes, we do need to learn how to trust. All right, we got a few more minutes, so let her finish so we can get into my last portion that I will speak about today. All right, so here we go. Let's continue.
A question that I've gotten from a lot of ladies over the years is, what does a submissive woman do for her man, right? And I think that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to what submission is, because submission is not a series of actions, tasks, duties. It's not so much what you're doing. It's about who and how you are in regards to your man, your husband, right? A lot of times what you all are describing is ways to show appreciation or admiration for your man. Now, being submissive is a way to show that you admire your man, but a lot of you are describing that, or you're describing being a homemaker or a caregiver or a nurturer or a lover. But when it comes to being submissive, it looks more like you just relinquishing the need to be in control. It looks like you trusting your man's guidance and accepting his guidance, trusting.
So I stopped it there because we already heard. I'll play it before the night's out one more again because it's very important. But I stopped it there because she said, when you trust, it's that you're trying to control. Control, ladies and gentlemen, control. Janet Jackson, she cursed us. Loved the song, but she cursed us with that song, Control. All she wanted was control. Man, when you take that control, you can abuse that control. A lot of politics that we complain about is abuse of control. A lot of bad parenting that we complain about is abuse of control. A lot of bad decision makers, the cases that are going on right now with Diddy, no Diddy, and all of that, control. Donald Trump in his presidency, biggest pushback, control. And we don't even really know how to control much. We're not good when we have control. We're not good when we have the authority to control all the time. But Lynn's too easy. It makes it too easy to go ahead and abuse that authority. So I'm going to go to my last video today, and this one is, why do we need to control? But if we're going to control, the one thing we need to control is our emotions. Now, I have this saying, listen to the 5-year-old. Listen to the 5-year-old. I make references. I made it last week. Listen to a 5-year-old because they have the most sense out of all of us people. Us adults, we don't have sense. We're too logical. We learned too much. Conditioned. We learned a lot of stuff. But a 5-year-old, 5 and less, usually the only sense they have is common sense. And I'm about to play a video of where it is highlighted and displayed very thoroughly. And I, in advance, thank this young person for being able to share us. And adults, please listen in. Please listen in.
Going outside, so that's why I didn't want to make this a smart choice. You know, earlier I couldn't go outside, so I was still a little sad.
Yeah,
hmm
but that was a consequence.
But after I was a little sad, I was a little bit upset. More than a little.
More than a little upset?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We all get upset sometimes.
Yeah.
We don't get what we want all the time.
Mama also don't. Papa also don't. But it's hard for babies to do that. You know, earlier, baby dropped the plate and Papa got angry at her, and I told Papa to make this. I told Papa to stop breathe slow and make a smart choice for Papa.
And then did he do it?
Yeah, but earlier I chose to be a tiny bit mad, but after a while I was okay.
You were okay?
Life
is like that. We get upset, we get mad, we cry.
That's emotions, Mama.
That's emotions, I know. And then we feel better after we cry.
Yep. You do, even when you're upset or angry. Always different kinds of feelings. Even though when you're scared.
That's another emotion.
Yeah, a different kind of emotion. No, I was wrong. Today I had a hard time doing my emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is today.
That's okay.
But
We're learning.
Even though when I was that mad, you still love me that so much?
Of course. Always.
Yeah, I love you too.
Now, Couldn't have said that better. And that person wasn't 5 years old. I couldn't even tell what gender they were. I would imagine it was a little boy. It could have been a little girl. And it doesn't really matter. We spoke about was so true. We don't handle our emotions too well at times. We need to better be able to understand what made us emotional. I was a little mad. I was really mad, is what they said. So mad that I did. And then when they said, after all that, I was wrong. And the mom said, that's okay. And he said, do you still love me? And the mom said, of course. How is it that a little baby can understand such a scenario that us adults can't seem to comprehend? Help me out, ladies and gentlemen. Help me out. But anyway, I'm going to play these last videos one more again. We got about a few minutes before I check out. If there's any questions, anybody want to join me, do it now. But I'll play all of the videos. We're going to start with Stephen A. No, as a matter of fact, I'm going to start with, I'm going to start with Stephen A. Then I'm going to go into Sarah Lane. And lastly, I'm going to finish with that young, prolific, profound statement that the little person said. Again, listen to the 5-year-old, because when you're 5-year-old or younger, they have the most sense, because the only thing they have is common sense. So with that being said, let's start with Stephen A. saying a strong 7, a strong 7. Let me know if you agree. Again, comment, subscribe. This is Sean Bolden, Sean B. Straight Talk, Lisa Straight Standing. Stephen A., it's on you.
What I'm about to say. You want a strong 7. Let me tell you why. 10, fine as all get out, tat out, body, looking fine, everything like that, got it going on. Too much maintenance. Too much, because she knows she fine.
Agreed.
And you're expendable. She could take you or leave you.
Don't agree.
A 9, that's a problem too, because you got enough people telling her she's a 10, so half of them acting that way.
Agreed.
And by the way, the ones that ain't acting that way still require more from you than what others might. And so you got to be up on your game. That's problematic. 8, that's ideal, because that's really, really good looking. She got it going on. But at the same time, there's a level of independence that comes with it, which is never a bad thing.
Yes, it is. We need
until she's so independent that she's making you feel like you need to be more dependent on her.
She should never control
and
your
she
feelings.
needs to be on you.
Nope.
So there's too many opportunities and too much time that's wasting away where you're not feeling like that dude. You're feeling like a dude, not that dude. Here's where the strong 7 comes in. Looks wise, she can compete with an 8.
Absolutely. Or even 9 and 10.
But her mentality is not that of an 8. So she's more appreciative of you wanting her. As a result, she shows an elevated appreciation for you wanting her. Therefore, she treats you like she wants you. 7. That's somebody who is an 8, but don't act like one.
Here we go.
That's what makes her special. Those are the ones that are married. The others, long engagements, quick marriages and divorces, or just perpetual singlehood.
Here we go.
Because they spent so much time showing you that you were expendable that you finally looked at them and said, well, that's why I don't want your ass, because I'm expendable. You going to dump me anyway when it's time. Why waste my time? Did I not break that down? I believe I did. No man alive that would disagree with what I'm about to say.
His direction, his vision, and getting on board with the mission, cooperating, wanting to A question that I've gotten from a lot of ladies over the years is, what does a submissive woman do for her man? Right? And I think that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to what submission is, because submission is not a series of actions, tasks, duties. It's not so much what you're doing. It's about who and how you are in regards to your man, your husband, right? A lot of times what you all are describing is ways to show appreciation or admiration for your man. Now, being submissive is a way to show that you admire your man, but a lot of you are describing that, or you're describing being a homemaker or a caregiver or a nurturer or a lover. But when it comes to being submissive, it looks more like you just relinquishing the need to be in control. It looks like you trusting your man's guidance and accepting his guidance, trusting his direction, his vision, and getting on board with the mission, cooperating, wanting to be involved with that, as opposed to competing or just going in your own direction, right? It's wanting to be a part of the plan. Submission looks like you not giving a lot of pushback when there is a disagreement. It looks like you being agreeable even when you disagree. That doesn't mean you're just sitting there saying, oh yes, I agree with you, even when you don't agree. It looks like you just being pleasant and not trying to force your perspective or force your point or feel like you have to have the last word. It looks like you just surrendering in that moment, right? Being submissive looks like you not questioning every little thing that he does, and being okay with him making the final decision and not questioning it so much, because you trust that you are covered with him. You trust that he has good intentions with you, right? You feel safe and secure with that man. You admire him, you value him. All of that plays a role in it, right? Being submissive looks like you making adjustments the first time he tells you that he has a concern with something you're doing, as opposed to him having to say it over and over and over again, right? So there's a lot to it, but these are just a few examples, because I want you to understand that being submissive is not so much you just doing a bunch of stuff for him. It has more to do with how and who you are when it comes to expressing and showing your trust and admiration and respect for this man, if that makes sense.
Your trust and admiration and respect for this man is really a key. It's not about surrendering and being somebody's a slave or anything like that. It's just about respect, surrendering, and trusting, respect and trust that he will have both of your best interests. Now, unfortunately, it's hard for us to do that, and that's why we have so many difficulties in relationships. But here's how you resolve it. Here's what you need to do. Listen to the 5-year-old.
You hurt my feelings by not going outside, so that's why I
Be honest.
didn't want to make this a smart choice. You know, earlier I couldn't go outside, so I was still.
I just want to say this. This is how honest he said. I didn't want to make a smart choice. Listen to it again, y'all.
You hurt my feelings
You
by
hurt my
not
feelings.
going outside, so that's why I didn't want to make this a smart choice. You know, earlier.
Again, he said you hurt my feelings by not letting me go outside, so I didn't want to make a smart choice. Listen to the 5. He's under 5. Listen to the toddler, y'all. The sense that they're making that we often don't make. Listen to the toddler. Watch this.
You hurt my feelings by not going outside, so that's why I didn't want to make this a smart choice. You know, earlier I couldn't go outside, so I was still a little sad.
Yeah,
Little
but
sad.
that was a consequence.
But after I was a little sad, I was a little bit upset. More than a little.
More than a little upset?
And a little upset.
Yeah. We all get upset sometimes.
Sad, upset.
We don't get what we want all the time.
Mama also don't. Papa also don't. But it's hard for babies to do that. You know, earlier, baby and Papa got angry with her, and I told Papa to make this. I told Papa to stop breathe slow and make a small choice for Papa.
And then did you do it?
Yeah, but earlier I chose to be a tiny bit mad, but after a while I was okay.
You were okay?
Mm-hmm.
Life is like that. We get upset, we get mad, we cry.
That's emotions, Mama.
That's emotion.
Emotion.
I know. And then we feel better after we cry.
Yep. You do, even when you're upset or angry. Always different kinds of feelings. Even
Different
though when
feelings.
you're scared.
That's another
Another
emotion.
emotion.
Yeah, a different kind of emotion. No, I was wrong. Today I had a hard time doing my emotions.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Today I had a hard time doing emotions. Man, how honest this little kid is. How very direct, sensible, and practical the evaluation of this little kid is. I'm amazed that a toddler can do this, yet the adults cannot. Cannot say, I didn't do good with my emotions. I was wrong.
Today.
That's okay.
But it means
We're learning.
even though when I was that mad, you still love me that so much.
Of course. Always.
Yeah, I love you too.
And when you're able to do that, ladies and gentlemen, you get the love that you deserve. You get the love that you get the love that is necessary. So with that being said, let there be love. This is Sean Bolden, Sean B. I hope you enjoyed today. If you enjoyed, share it. Big up to those creators who utilize Stephen A. Smith's Arlena 89. And not sure of the toddler's name, but thank you, because the toddler was the most profound person that I have seen in many discussions that I had with many adults regarding relationships. That toddler just broke it down so simplistically, things that we make so complicated. So I thank you all. Let's wait for the next Kendrick rebuttal. Hope it's a good one. Big up to him and Drake. Big up to Stephen A. Even though sometimes I don't agree with you, Stephen A. Yeah, you did snitch a little because you did not have to go and beyond the Call of Duty when ESPN asked you to a question. You had to go and run. I can get the answer. Okay, that's like shucking and jiving. Can you dance? Oh, yes, I can. Watch this. Like my moves? That's what it kind of was resemblance of. Big up to you nonetheless. God bless you. I know we both go to CCC and we're both CCC, so I have that for you. I'm not that into sports, so I do respect that portion of you more so than anything else. But I do respect your commentation and that your commentating. And lastly, definitely respect Sarah Lena's points of view. So thank you for joining. I appreciate y'all. This is the end. Share, like, and comment. Hope to see you next week, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Straight talk leads to straight understanding. My name is Sean B. However you know me, this is how I look in the light. Let there be light. Let there be love. And I love you all. Lord, be with us. Let's do all that we do. I ask that you continue to be our covering. Give us for any sins we commit, knowingly or unknown. We ask that you help us not to commit those sins. You help us to be logical and sensible like that little child. Listen to the 5-year-old. I was ought to have that 5-year-old nature and surrender to you. Say this to your son, our big brother Jesus Christ, in the name of those who I'm praying for may know you. Amen.